Haley.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
And we're Extension in the Kitchen. On today's show, we are going to bring you some kickin' tailgate recipes. Since it is now football season, we want you and your family and friends to be prepared to make some healthier options for your upcoming tailgate celebrations. So we are going to start off with a chili recipe that is a little bit leaner and healthier. All right, so the first thing we need to do is just crank up our heat to about a medium to medium high. So we've got that going on. And we're gonna add a oil or a fat that is gonna be liquid at room temperature, right? So that's gonna be a little bit healthier of an option. About 1.5 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons is going to be enough for this recipe. So as we get that heated up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up this onion. And Courtney, you can go ahead and add our garlic in. We have some pre-minced garlic. You could also use dry garlic as well if you've got that already in your pantry. So for this recipe, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic.
2 tablespoons.
There's that. And onion and garlic are just going to add a lot of good flavor to this dish without adding a lot of extra unwanted calories.
Mm-hmm. 1 tablespoon.
Alright, and after you do that, go ahead and you can open up this ground beef here and add that into our pot as well. So I love a good chili for a tailgate. It's easy to do just in one pot, easy cleanup, and everybody enjoys a good chili.
All right, ready?
Yeah, go ahead and add that in. There we go.
You add the onions in?
Please.
Okay.
So, and today we're using a lean ground beef. This recipe also allows you to use a ground turkey if you prefer a turkey. But the main thing is you want to look for a protein source that's going to be a little bit leaner. So today we're using a 93.7 beef. And this helps us to keep from having to drain off that excess oil. But also it's going to be a little bit healthier option because it's going to have less of that saturated fat in it as well. All right. So we're going to keep letting that brown before we add in our other ingredients. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And we're going to let Courtney go ahead and get us started on our next recipe. So our next recipe today that I think is a favorite for a lot of you football fans out there is wings. And you might be thinking, okay, well you just said to use a lean protein source. So, but what we're going to do with this wing is we're going to cook it in a way that is going to be a little bit healthier. So we are cutting out a lot of fat, and I'm going to let Courtney tell you about this.
Okay, so today we are using drumsticks, but you can also use the chicken wing, and you can cut that into two separate, the flat and the kind of the little drumstick leg. But so we have 3 right here today, and like she said, we're cutting down on fat. So we do have lower sodium options if you would like to contact us, and we can give you other options. And we also have a buffalo sauce that we're going to put on today's chicken wings, chicken drumsticks. So you could also do barbecue as well. So the first step I did was put my drumsticks in the bowl, and I washed my hands, food safety. Okay, and really you can do the seasonings that you want. Today I'm going to use, can I borrow the paprika?
Absolutely.
I'm going to use paprika and a little bit of garlic powder, and then we're going to put those in there, and then we're going to sauce them. So.
And we did these at a recent workshop where one of our participants said they were the best wings he's ever had. So if you do have an air fryer at home, or if you're thinking about getting one, I highly recommend trying out this recipe. And again, just like Courtney said, if salt is something you're worried about, we have some great salt-free seasonings that would be good on this as well. She did note that she washed her hands,
yes,
but she didn't wash the chicken. So those of you who've grown up washing your chicken, this is something food safety wise you definitely want to not do. You don't want to wash your chicken, because when you do that, that running water will splash any potential bacteria all over your kitchen, all over your food contact surfaces. So you want to omit that step. If you cook it to the right internal temperature, you're going to be just fine. And make sure to wash your hands after you put the chicken in here, because if you don't, you're going to go and touch all of your seasonings and get that on there also. And the next time you use the seasonings, they've got bad stuff on them. So, okay, so we're going to put these in the air fryer. The recipe says for 380 for 12 minutes. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to turn them so that they're evenly cooked. And you want to make sure when you're placing them in the air fryer that they have room to circulate. So we did have 5 drumsticks. Have you sprayed it yet? No. Okay. 5 drumsticks in this, our package, but we don't want to put them all in there because they're not going to all evenly cook. Okay. Spray. And we're just spraying a little bit of cooking spray. Okay. So you have one of these at home, right? Yes. And do y'all use it for a lot of different things, or? We do. We use it about twice a week. It's really easy. You don't have to do a lot. You know, as long as your meat is thawed out, you can easily prepare it. Nice. So it's easy. All right, I'm going to go wash my hands. So touch the chicken. All right. You want me to stick this in? Yes, you can put that in at 380 for 12 minutes. All right. So we're just going to increase that temperature to 380. And for how many minutes? 12 minutes. 12 minutes. All right, I think it's going. That's really easy. Yeah. Quick. Okay. All right. Is it getting brown? Yes, starting to get browned up. What's our next step? Okay, so now we need 2 cups of water. All right, and I'm actually going to skip that step for now. This recipe does say 2 cups as needed. So depending on how long you're going to be cooking this chili down, that's going to depend on how much more liquid you're going to need. I tend to add all of the liquid that's in my my canned tomatoes, and so therefore I usually don't need a whole lot, and I tend to eat it pretty quickly also after I make it. So again, that's kind of an as needed thing, so I think we will skip that step today. Okay. So what's next? Next is our tomatoes and kidney beans. All right, let's go ahead and add in those beans. This recipe also allows you to, kind of add some other things that you like for your chili. So if there's other spices that you enjoy, some people even put cinnamon in their chili, which is a really fun flavor to have in chili. If you like a chunkier style, you might use some stewed tomatoes instead. So there's opportunity to kind of make it your own for sure. One thing we did to the beans before we added them in is that we went ahead and we rinsed them off. A lot of our canned products are fairly high in sodium, and sodium is something that we tend to overindulge in America, and so that's something we want to be extra cautious of for our homemade recipes. And you can easily cut out some of that sodium by just rinsing off those beans before putting them in your recipe. And then add, your own salt in as needed. So that way you can tell how much sodium is actually going into your recipe.
Okay. All right, so let's add in our seasonings.
Okay.
And spices. Do you want me to go ahead and use all the one the recipe calls for?
Please, yes.
All right, so let's do 2 tablespoons of chili powder.
So here's our chili powder. Alright, I can get that one if you'll go ahead and grab the next one. So we're doing 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and if you like a lot of chili powder, you might end up wanting a little bit more. This is a great seasoning here. I like a lot of chili powder in my chili.
Oops. All right. 1/2 teaspoon of paprika.
Perfect.
All right. Dried oregano. 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, it smells good.
Go ahead and add just a little bit. So again, the salt and pepper is just kind of as needed there. And since we've rinsed off a lot of that salt, we can add a little bit of that in, okay? But we're not gonna add a lot. All right. What do we got now, Courtney?
All right, now we've got the ground cayenne red pepper.
All right, that's gonna add a kick to our kickin' chili today.
Next, we got the ground cumin. Oh, perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Then you've already added the salt and pepper. All right.
How are we doing so far on our wings? Got about 8 minutes on those. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a lid to this so it can we want those flavors to really marinate so that chili can really get its flavor going there. I'm going to put this over here. We're just gonna turn this down a little bit. All right.
All right.
You ready for our third recipe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Tell us what we're gonna do.
Okay, so we want to make sure that we include all food groups. Try to be as healthy as we can, even though we are having a good time tailgating. So today we're going to do some little fruit skewers, or you could do little fruit cups. We're using mandarin oranges, strawberries, and blueberries. Lots of color. More appealing. So
yeah, so if you notice you have maybe a lot of protein sources at your celebration, maybe you have some vegetables, think about that My Plate like we've talked about in the past. We want to try to include as many food groups in our celebrations as possible so that we can make sure all of our friends and family are staying healthy. So I think that this is kind of a fun and attractive way to present some fresh fruits And obviously, you can get creative with your fruits. You know, if there's a certain team that you love that has certain colors, maybe you can find the fruits in those colors and kind of call them, you know, the name of your team, kebabs or whatever. Today, we're just kind of getting colorful with it because, as you can see, me and Courtney, we don't really cheer for the same teams. So we're just kind of getting our friends and families healthy together here with this recipe. And so we're just literally going to put these on. Let's get a knife for those strawberries. All right. Perfect.
So
I can take care of the blueberries and our little orange segments. Okay. I'll kind of just put it there for when you get that ready.
all right.
Oh, that's so pretty.
So cute.
Isn't that adorable? So the more colors we have, we know the more vitamins, the more minerals that are going to be present in on your plate. So again, that's why it's so important to really get a variety of foods, a variety of food groups, and a variety of colors into your recipes throughout the day. And so that shouldn't be any different when you are planning for any type of celebration.
These are another great option versus like chips when you're snacking and waiting on your recipes to finish.
Absolutely. You know, obviously you don't have to do kebabs.
Right.
We could have left it as a fruit salad. I love some Cool Whip on some fruit too. Almost making it like a dessert. Or you can make little fruit cups. And this is also a fun way to get your kids involved in, you know, you planning for your celebration as well. Because, again, we've said this in the past, the more involved you can get your kids in the kitchen, you know, have them hands-on, touching the food, being a part of making those recipes, the more likely they will be to be healthy as well and to get excited about eating new foods, trying new things, and sharing them with their friends.
This is true. Strawberry.
Sure.
All right, let's see how much longer we got on our air fryer. Okay, we got 3 minutes.
Just a little side note, be on the lookout for some of the upcoming cooking classes that we have here at the Cooperative Extension Office. Me and Courtney work a lot together to not only go into the schools, go into some of the senior facilities, we also like to offer community cooking classes. And so this is an opportunity for you to become more familiar with nutrition, food safety, and also how to utilize different cooking skills, you know, like using an air fryer, working on your stovetop, all these healthier options, baking, grilling. So if you are interested in learning more, obviously give us a call at the Extension Office, or, you know, look online at our website, our Facebook page. We've got a lot of really fun classes coming up.
All right, so our wings are ready to flip. So we're going to just rotate them to the other side.
Need some help?
Let's see. Okay, and remember to make sure that they have space between them. Don't cram as many as you can into it because the air does cook them and give them that little crisp edge that you want. Okay, so we're going to put those back in there at 380 for 12 minutes. All right. Okay, so our 6 minutes are up. Okay, so we're gonna plate
those
these.
are crispy.
Yes, and you could
Yeah.
also sauce these again. Some people that aren't crazy about a lot of sauce.
Crazy about a lot of sauce. Those are beautiful.
Right. Yes.
And I'm also going to go ahead and put our chili in a bowl. One thing that's not in our chili recipe that's totally optional, depending on your preference, is adding a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sour cream, but also thinking about that health. We definitely want to choose those dairy products that are a little bit lower in fat. This is going to be a lower fat cheese here. Again, just grab whatever cheese you like. Add a little bit on top, and we got to put a little dollop of our sour cream, and this also is a light sour cream. And now we have a well-balanced group of recipes here.
Even if your team doesn't win, these recipes are winning.
Oh, that's great. I love that. All right, guys. So if you have any questions on how to make some winning tailgate recipes, make sure to give us a call at your local cooperative extension office.